Welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt, aka the True Prince of Pro, and today I'm here to review episode 30 of AAA TV on Fox in Mexico, aka week 3 of Verano De Escándalo. Opening things up this week, we have a first round match in the AAA Latin American title tournament, as it is Psycho Clown versus Cruz del Toro versus El Fiscal. The match starts off with Psycho Clown and El Fiscal super kicking Cruz del Toro out of the ring. Then Psycho Clown and El Fiscal trade corner clotheslines back and forth with each other until Psycho Clown hits El Fiscal with a power slam. Cruz del Toro catches Psycho Clown with a springboard kick. El Fiscal power bombs Cruz del Toro. Then Psycho Clown hits El Fiscal with a pop-up elbow. Cruz del Toro then hits Psycho Clown with a hurricanrana that sends him to the floor, and then heads to the top rope and hits a corkscrew crossbody onto both competitors. Back in the ring, Cruz del Toro goes for a Phoenix Splash, but Psycho Clown moves out of the way and drills Cruz del Toro with a lariat. El Fiscal goes for the martinet onto Psycho Clown, but Cruz del Toro drop kicks both competitors. Cruz del Toro then hits El Fiscal with a super hurricanrana off the top rope and goes for the pin, but Psycho Clown breaks it up. Psycho Clown then drops Cruz del Toro with a sick Psycho Driver onto the ring apron. Then back in the ring, Psycho Clown hits El Fiscal with a cactus clothesline that sends them both out to the floor. That's when we see the debut of the mystery attacker that has been attacking the Psycho Circus since January, that being Drake Monroe from WWE LFG, who is now under this cool masked character, as he pops up out of the crowd like a horror movie villain and drags Psycho Clown into the crowd and attacks him. This man throws fans and security out of his way, beating them all up, then rips off the face of Psycho Clown before dropping him with a chokeslam through a chair onto the floor. Back in the ring, El Fiscal throws Cruz del Toro off the top rope, then hits him with a massive frog splash to pick up the win and qualify for the Fatal 4-Way match for the AAA Latin American title at Triple Mania. Up next, we have a surprised, unannounced match as Noisy Boy versus Jack Cartwheel. The two trade hurricanrana attempts back and forth, but they're able to flip out of each other's maneuvers. Jack Cartwheel ducks a kick by doing a split, then hits an up kick onto Noisy Boy, and then throws him with a head scissors. Jack Cartwheel goes for his swinging kick off the apron, but Noisy Boy is able to get out of the way. Then he goes for a double stomp onto the apron, but Jack Cartwheel rolls out of the way and knocks Noisy Boy to the floor. Jack Cartwheel then goes for a Sasuke special, but Noisy Boy pops up onto the apron and kicks him out of the air. Noisy Boy then hits a beautiful springboard cutter by bouncing off his knees on the top rope, and he drills Jack Cartwheel with it for a near fall. Jack Cartwheel tries to fight back, but Noisy Boy hits him with a leg sweep, then follows it up with an incredible back handspring splash. Then the two trade strikes back and forth with each other until Jack Cartwheel is able to hit Noisy Boy with a crucifix driver for a near fall. Jack Cartwheel heads to the top rope, but Noisy Boy cuts him off and then hits an insane twisting hurricanrana off the top rope for a near fall. Noisy Boy then goes for a springboard clothesline, but Jack Cartwheel is able to get out of the way, then he hits him with a swing-through kick off the apron, follows it up with the slam stand elbow. Then Jack Cartwheel goes for a Sasuke special to the floor, and he hits it this time. He throws Noisy Boy back into the ring, then hits a red arrow off the top rope to pick up the win in a very fun match. After the match, we saw Carmen Petrovich make her way down to the ring, which we all know is the sign that Los Pelos del Mal are here and are ready to attack as they hit the ring and demolish both Noisy Boy and Jack Cartwheel. Daga grabs the mic and says that guys like that are an example of what he meant when he said that the business has gotten weak. Los Pelos del Mal make the rules now, and he welcomes OG member of Los Pelos del Mal, Damien 666, to the ring. Daga then hands him a Pelos del Mal shirt and formally welcomes the OG member back into the group. Damien grabs the microphone and asks, "Where are the dogs at?" and says that the God forgives, but Los Pelos don't, to end the segment. After turning his back on El Grande Americano against Los Pelos del Mal, Dominik Mysterio has requested a sit-down interview with Andrea Bazzarte to explain his actions. Dominik says this all goes back to when Los Gringos Locos 2.0 first teamed together, when El Grande Americano shook the hand of his deadbeat father, Rey Mysterio, and Dominik Mysterio has never forgiven him for that. Dominik says that he left AAA for months to see what El Grande Americano would become, and he watched him become a national hero to those fans. And he says that all ends at Triple Mania, because El Grande Americano will always be second to Dirty Dominik Mysterio. Andrea asks Dominik why he joined up with Dorian Roldan and the El Ojo faction, and Dominik says when Marcela Pena announced that Rey Mysterio was going to be the general manager instead of Dorian, that's when Dominik contacted Dorian about joining the group. He says that they both understand what it's like to have a parent who is jealous of their son's success. And he says that Dominik and Omos will be in attendance next week to confront El Grande Americano. That's when, out of nowhere, Liv Morgan walks into the room and has an intense stare down with Andrea Bazzarte. That's when Dominik and Liv exit the interview. So we learn that Dominik Mysterio and El Grande Americano will have a confrontation next week on AAA TV. And we also learn that Penta will be in attendance next week for his build going into Triple Mania. It's main event time as we have a match for the AAA Reina De Reinas Championship as Flammer defends her title against La Catalina and Lady Shani in a triple threat match. The match starts off with La Catalina and Lady Shani bouncing Flammer all around with some forearms before hitting stereo hip attacks together onto her. Lady Shani then drops La Catalina and hits her with some boot scrapes in the ropes. Then she heads across the ring and hits a crossbody on the Flammer on the outside off the apron. La Catalina then heads to the top rope and hits a flying crossbody off the top rope onto both competitors to the floor. In the ring, La Catalina hits Flammer with a running dropkick. Then Lady Shani throws La Catalina into one corner and then arm drags Flammer into the other corner and then hits running boot scrapes onto both competitors. Lady Shani then hits La Catalina with a running quesadora and then hits Flammer with a tilt-a-whirl edge-o-matic. La Catalina then drops Lady Shani with a forearm, but then Flammer hits La Catalina with a running dropkick. Flammer hits Lady Shani with a roll-through double stomp. La Catalina drops Lady Shani with a big boot and then repeatedly smashes Flammer's face into the top turnbuckle. La Catalina then heads to the top rope and hits a flying dropkick onto both competitors. La Catalina then hits Flammer with a gory bomb onto Lady Shani for a double near fall. Lady Shani traps La Catalina in the ropes and Flammer hits her with a running hip attack. Lady Shani then traps Flammer in the corner and hits her with a running dropkick. La Catalina then rolls up Lady Shani and rolls her all around the ring, but Flammer breaks up the pin with a big boot. Then Lady Shani rolls up Flammer and rolls her all around the ring, and the pin is broken up by La Catalina. Flammer then hits Lady Shani with a powerbomb out of the corner for a near fall. And then La Catalina out of nowhere hits a frog splash onto Lady Shani, but the pin is broken up by Flammer. La Catalina drills Flammer with a spear on the outside. Then back in the ring, La Catalina and Lady Shani trade pinfall attempts back and forth with each other until Lady Shani hits La Catalina with a backstabber, then goes for a quesadora trap pin for a very close near fall. La Catalina then trips up Lady Shani into the ropes and then hits her with the running hip attack, then follows that up with her running knee strike, but that's when Flammer gets back into the ring and throws La Catalina out of the ring and steals the pin and retains her title. This was the third and final week of Verano De Escándalo, and honestly it was the best week of the event. I absolutely love how they debuted Drake Monroe's new character as being the one who's been attacking the Psycho Circus since January. I think it was perfectly done, and a great movie monster villain is now in AAA as he ripped off Psycho Clown's face and destroyed him. Drake Monroe has the ability, in my opinion, to really capitalize in this huge spot that he is being put in. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this progresses between Drake Monroe and the Psycho Circus. Noisy Boy and Jack Cartwheel was a very fun match, and it made me so happy to see Noisy Boy showcase in a spotlight match like this, even though he didn't pick up the win. The Dominik Mysterio promo was everything I could have asked for this feud. Dominik felt like a mob boss, like final challenge for El Grande Americano, that I really feel like he should always be presented in this way. And honestly, Dominik is kind of vindicated in his assessment that El Grande Americano betrayed his trust first by respecting Rey Mysterio. And the surprise at the end of the promo, with Liv Morgan showing up to confront Andrea Bazarte, leads to some interesting stuff going into Triple Mania. And that main event for the Reina De Reinas Championship was absolutely incredible. Those three women freaking killed it out there. And it really has a perfect finish with La Catalina really doing all the work onto Lady Shani, but Flammer throwing her out of the ring at the last second to steal that pin, setting up for the eventual rematch at Triple Mania, where La Catalina will finally be the one to win that Reina De Reinas Championship. Thank you for watching this review, and I look forward to talking more Lucha Libre with y'all in the next video.